Hello guys, welcome back to another episode review of Hollyoaks for 20th December 2022. Grace going ahead with her plan to kill Warren, get Warren out of the picture so she can take over Warren's mum's business, her empire. And like I said in the previous episode review, I just found that very cruel, and it's just very unlike Grace as well, because I thought she was like a bit of a reformed character, to be honest. And the fact that she's killing Warren, they're almost friends, let's be honest, even though they're kind of like throw little digs at each other here and there, but that's what makes it quite funny and comical. So I really didn't really like the kind of writing that's heading this way, because I genuinely thought Warren, Norma and Grace, they make such a great team, and I thought if you just kept their story where they all get along and they come in difficulty with other gang members, that would have been interesting to see. But obviously to see a breakdown inside, because they actually formed a little team there, to be honest. And anyway, Sienna came in to talk it out with Grace later about something, and then Dr. Fenton called, and Grace asked Sienna to answer it. Sienna put on loudspeaker, thinking it was just probably like a random call so Grace can hear. And the doctor was saying to Grace, obviously after he's taken the money, it was just ironic, that what Grace is doing is wrong. Sienna, bear in mind, is hearing all this, and what he's saying in the phone is what Grace is doing is wrong, unethical, etc. And he's banging on, and it was actually quite funny because Grace is telling him to shut up across the kitchen counter, and Sienna grabbed the phone and making sure Grace can't get hold of the phone because she needs to hear the end of the conversation. And then Sienna obviously realized Grace, caught red-handed, that she's actually trying to get rid of Warren, who is, by the way, the father of Sienna's kids. So I kind of find it a bit weird how Grace managed to turn Sienna around by saying, like, if they manage to get rid of Warren, that Sienna can have a nice, comfortable life with Ethan, she probably wants to be the stepdad of Sienna's kids, and it'll be a nice life without Warren, less complicated, because Sienna herself, she's very complicated as well, and if she's angered or anything, she can be a bit unpredictable, and same with Warren. And they're just the male and female version of each other, to be honest. So maybe Sienna's thinking that, but again, I think Sienna's gonna live long to regret that if she does go ahead with Grace's plan and she doesn't speak out, and she actually lets Grace go ahead and literally make Warren and Norma think that they're not a suitable match for each other, because Norma, who is Warren's mum, was about to donate her liver, and it's just gonna affect Warren badly. Now he's thinking he's gonna pass away in a matter of time. That's all down to Grace. And the sad thing is, when Norma came to visit Grace to hand her a black box, I believe all her details on how to run the business and etc., Grace was chuffed. I just can't believe the evilness I'm seeing through my screen sometimes, because I genuinely thought, again, like I said, I know I keep banging on about it, but I genuinely thought Grace was a reformed character, and I'm just gutting to see the fact that this trio, Grace, Warren and Norma, they could have easily make it more interesting, like have a little gang and they get into dodgy jobs, etc. Sometimes they get in conflict with other gangs or the police, etc. That would have been amazing to see. And the fact that they all had chemistry on screen, those three characters, so the actors are doing good jobs in real life. So I don't know, maybe I do hope Hollyoaks, they turn it around, and Grace maybe cancels at last minute. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. And now we are going to talk about Juliet. She's sadly going through quite a lot of stuff, and the fact that she hasn't really told many people apart from James. I think James is the only one that knows that Juliet's been diagnosed with lymphoma, and she's having to deal with it all by herself. And she was seen throwing up by Warren's garage. Warren heard her. He came out, and he obviously saw her, and he kind of sat her down. I kind of like this duo's interaction, and I do think there's some sort of on-screen chemistry with Warren and Juliet, and they just make like a great team. I think Juliet even worked for Warren once, like in the garage, She was there for a small period, and I just feel like Warren and Juliet's relationship, if Hollyoaks continue to kind of put them on screen together, it just feels like it's her like non-related older brother or something with Juliet. Some people might even think, you know what, they suit like being father and daughter, but I actually think Juliet could have a good friend if they if Hollyoaks did more scenes with the pair, and obviously they're going through life challenges, both Warren and Juliet, and not knowing the future looks pretty not so great, kind of dim to be honest. And the fact that Juliet is can speak to Warren comfortably about it, sorry, and not her own like family or friends. I think that kind of isn't not intended, but I think it's just more easier sometimes. I'm guessing, because obviously we don't know. Most of us wouldn't know what they're going through. Some of us may do. I think Warren was given a good advice, to be honest, when he said that she should be with her family. He was placing great importance on the family, and I think he even took his own advice in the end. And he went to his mum, who he was rejecting her calls all day, and partly because I think he resents her as well. And he kind of said in the end to Norma that he needs her, he needs his kids. I think Norma was really chuffed about that. She really liked that, and I think it brought Norma and Warren quite close together. I really do hope they find out. Either way, I hope Grace, number one, turns herself, like as in counsels her evil plan and lets them know that you are a viable match, or does something to fix it. If she doesn't, then I sincerely hope Warren and Norma, they find out somehow, and they stop Grace in her tracks. Maybe even kind of get their own back somehow, because obviously she just kind of delayed the process now at the end of the day. But we'll see. That storyline, I think it's a bit more interesting, but could have been more interesting if Grace was remained friends and was on their good side. Anyway, gonna lastly finally talk about Tony, the Cunninghams, Diane as well. Again, like really good clips that Tony's going around delivering Christmas presents to everyone. I believe some of them were done by Verity, if not all of them. And Tony's just hand delivering them, and he gave one to Shaq. Obviously Shaq's distraught and he didn't want to really open the present. Perry came right behind him, and they kind of shared a kiss, and which was kind of unexpected. I thought they were just good friends, or starting to have like become good friends, but this early trying to kiss, I just feel like it was too soon, especially with Verity passing away. I would have thought Shaq would want some time to grieve. Perry as well, with her and Juliet, kind of like, she got like a firm shut from Juliet, and she doesn't really know, again, what Juliet's going through. I thought even if she doesn't, I would have thought Perry would just, take a week out just to like, just chill at home, or, do you know what I mean, watch some movies, I don't know. But then they might be very lonely at the end of the day, so we can't really judge. And sometimes these things happen, so it'd be quite interesting to see where this goes, or where this leads to, whether Perry would kind of like regret it if she does find out Juliet's has been struggling. She's been diagnosed with cancer, and I don't know what Perry's reaction is gonna be there. I think she'd definitely want to probably call it off with Shaq, and just say it was an accident, or it should have not happened, along those lines. But we'll see. It's getting very interesting. I hope you enjoyed the episode review. Let me know if you think you've spotted anything about the episode, what you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.